In today's video, I'm going to show you the best way to lose belly fat and explain why cardio is a waste of time if fat loss is your goal. Don't believe me? Well, I went from 25% body fat to 10% body fat and never did a single minute of cardio. Well, sort of. In fact, I only made one change in exercise. So to find out what that was and what you should do to finally lose your belly fat, don't go anywhere. So the reason this topic came up for me is I did a video recently talking about how ineffective cardio typically is when it comes to fat loss. And in that video, I got a comment asking, well, does that make cardio just a total waste of time then? And the thing is, it can be, but not necessarily. And it also depends why you want to utilize cardio. For instance, if you're looking to improve your cardiovascular health, certainly cardio is going to help with that. If you want to get better at running, running is going to help you do that. But as a tool for fat loss, I'm not saying it won't help, but personally, I think there's much better options. But before I explain why this is and what you should do, it's really important you understand how belly fat works. And the thing is, as much as you probably don't want to hear this, it's probably going to take longer than you think for you to lose your belly fat. And this is because it's usually the last to go when you're in a fat loss phase. So and it kind of makes sense. It's there to protect vital organs. I like to call this the paper towel effect. A really lean, defined midsection is like the core of the paper towel roll. To get to that midsection, you've got to strip away all the outer stuff first. And of course, there's always genetic variation, but for most men, it requires getting down to around 10 to 12% body fat. For females, more like 15 to 18%. But don't worry, this is absolutely something I can help you accomplish. So there's really two main things that you need to factor in when it comes to losing belly fat. You've got your nutrition and your activity. Now I'm going to start with nutrition. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it in this video. I've got tons of videos about how to use nutrition to create your calorie deficit. And for this video, I'm going to focus more of my attention on using cardio. Is it a waste of time? And how to best use activity to help you reach this goal. But there's two main things I really want you to focus on with your nutrition that will help arguably more than anything else. One, you want to have some accountability with your diet. You want to make sure you're tracking your intake. This way, you know how much you're eating, you know how to make adjustments when you hit plateaus, you get to understand what portion sizes look like and all that stuff. So make sure you're tracking. And then also eating a high protein diet is extremely beneficial. It's going to help you feel full. It can help you build some muscle, which also helps increase your metabolism. And there's even research that showed people who ate more calories with more protein lost more body fat than people who ate less calories and less protein. So I recommend eating around at least 1 gram per pound of whatever your goal weight might be. So with that, let's get back to the exercise side of things. And what do you think is the best exercise there is to help with losing belly fat? A lot of people say you should do a lot of ab exercises because it's going to help you burn that fat from that area. Unfortunately, that's not true. You cannot spot burn fat. Now, I'm not saying don't do ab exercises. I'm not saying they don't have benefit. They absolutely do. And especially if you want a really nice, well-defined looking six-pack, you want to make sure you're training your abs so you can build the muscle to make them bigger so they will display better when you do get lean. And honestly, a lot of people do the wrong types of ab exercises to actually grow your six-pack, but I've done videos on that. I'll put one in the description. But just know you can do all the crunches and planks, but without getting to low enough levels of body fat, you'll never be able to see your abs. So if it's not ab exercises, well then what is the best exercise? Now typically I would say the best exercise there is for fat loss is a good strength training routine. And honestly, while that's true, for the context of this video, if you want that really lean, well-defined, muscular look that's often associated with having a lean midsection and a great six-pack, you already know you need to be strength training to have the muscle required to get that look. So that means if you're gonna make adjustments to your exercise, you're gonna have to do cardio. And that might sound weird because I've been talking about how you shouldn't be doing it, how it's a waste of time. And I typically do say that cardio is ineffective. But that's just because there's a huge misunderstanding on what cardio actually is. Most people just think cardio is going for a run, doing intense forms of cardio, like running upstairs and doing sprints. And the thing is, like I mentioned early in the video, you're gonna have to be patient to get these results you want. And most people don't like these forms of cardio, and it's probably not gonna be sustainable. Now, if you like it, you can sustain it, great. I'm not saying don't do them, but I find the majority of people will not stick with that type of exercise long enough to get the results they're after. So because of this, what I personally consider the best form of cardio, this is the one change in exercise I made to get really lean, and that is walking. And most people don't consider walking as cardio, but it absolutely is. It's easy to do. You have a lot of options. You can walk on a treadmill at a gym. You can go outside for walks. You can go to a mall if the weather is bad. You can even get like a standing desk and a track pad and walk while you work. Not only that, but it's easy to recover from. It doesn't beat you down like higher intensity forms of exercise do. Also, high intensity forms of cardio typically make you more hungry, whereas I find walking actually makes me less hungry. It helps with my mood. It helps with my energy levels. It just has so many benefits with very few negatives outside of, yes, it does require more time. So if you're not even sure how many steps you take, first, I would just kind of keep doing what you've been doing, but now track it for the next week and just kind of see what you average for that week. Then when you have that to help with your fat loss, just bump up your steps maybe around 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day. In this way, you're gonna be off to a good start. It's gonna help, but it's not so much that you can't make adjustments through plateaus, because remember, it's gonna happen. Your body's gonna adapt. This is normal. So then when you do hit those sticking points, you can increase another maybe 2,000 to 3,000 steps on top of that. Also, if you utilize a treadmill, it can be really helpful because then you can use things to help increase the intensity when you hit plateaus as well. So you can increase the incline, you can increase the speed, and get more out of your walking. Now, of course, you can't just start walking and see amazing results if you don't do anything with your diet. It's very much true. You can't out-train a bad diet. And while I already mentioned that tracking is one of the best things you can do, what you don't know is how much you should eat to create the calorie deficit needed. So what you want to do next is check out this video, and I'll cover how many calories you should eat to start, how to adjust through plateaus, and help you finally get the results you're after.